Guys, welcome to Needing a Meeting on Saturday, and I can't honestly remember what day in March it is, but it's a beautiful afternoon. I'm out for a little bit of a walk. I'm running a little bit late, to be honest. I took some time this afternoon to be able to spend some time with a friend of mine I've met here, and she likes to practice her English, which is really awesome. And I'm starting to be able to practice a little bit more French with her, which is pretty cool too, because I'm going to need to be able to speak it to be able to manage and survive here as best as possible. I am super close getting back to the house. When I get there, I'm going to have to turn off my camera just for a second so that I can get downstairs and inside, but I'll keep talking. I just want to see how everyone's doing. I don't have anybody in the chat right now. That's all good. Yeah, so it's been, I don't know, behind the scenes stage of life. It's been a roller coaster. It's still kind of hard on the situation of waiting, the feeling of stagnation with how everything's moving, feeling like I'm not having much progress. But as I'm reminded often, the small steps will equal the bigger steps eventually. And it will start working out and we'll start being good. Oh, we got to Carol. There we go. And yeah, taking some time today to get out and see your friend and have some lunch was kind of good.
So I just popped on because I saw that you said that you were going to have to switch to something else, and so
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
just gonna have to switch to my camera off. That's
came
all.
on to make a placeholder so that you
Oh,
don't
thank you.
disconnect the meeting. Yeah.
I appreciate that so much. Yeah. It just, yeah, as soon as I get to the house, it's like, oh, well, no video in certain spots. It's like, oh, that's right. I forgot about that. All right. Oh, I think we might have, it's either I froze or Carol froze. I'm not sure. But, oh, I like going for brisk walks, guys. Kind of keeps me and my brain functioning on a better level lately, anyway.
All right. Again, now we're.
Oh. I don't know if it was me or you, Carol, there. Let's see. 7th, how are ya? Becca Jean, Cosmic. Yeah, you're just going to have to give me a few minutes here, Tara. I apologize. I'm not in front of my laptop just yet to drop the link, but as soon as I get there, I will drop the link for you. Actually, having you on today would probably be super appreciated. Love seeing your face. I'm almost there, Carol, so maybe like 2 minutes.
Would you like for me to drop the link?
Yeah, please, if you could, because Tara's asking for it.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I lost you or if it was my signal.
Oh, okay.
All right. Crossing, and I'm going to just turn off my camera and my mic here for a second, and then I will be back, okay?
Okay. So this is my Saturday face. That's not prepared for needing a meeting. So anywho. Hey, Becca Jean. Yeah, it was me. I stepped away from the Wi-Fi. Bad, Carol. Hey, Seventh Son. Hey, Cosmic. Hey, Tara. You guys, good to see y'all for however briefly this is going to be. But I'm right by the Wi-Fi. Anyway, anybody wants to pop in, I can toggle you in. How's everybody? Happy Saturday. Easter Saturday even. Lordy. Hey, good to see you.
Hi. I'm just going to run to the bathroom quick too.
Just getting a drink and I'll come in. Okay, very good. Farmer's market with no coffee. I lived. Dang. No coffee is just, that sounds like a terrible thing. Terrible. That's my one vice that I refuse. If a doctor told me that I had to give up caffeine, I'd be like, go yourself.
Same. Caffeine's a non-negotiable for me right now. You know what's also a non-negotiable for me right now is ginger ale.
I love that kind of ginger ale.
It's so good. This is the zero erythritol instead of.
I haven't had the guts to try the zero one, but because I really like the sugary one. But I love that Rage ginger ale that comes in the can like that.
It's still got erythritol, which erythritol doesn't cause the spikes in blood sugar level. It doesn't cause cavities in your teeth. So I really like the erythritol, and that's what is in the zero.
Okay.
So it's still
Christy.
Sweet. Hey, Christy.
All right, I'm back.
No, cannot hear you. Hey, Stacia.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Are you good, Plant Freak? I'm going to log off if so.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys.
Thank you, Carol.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
See you too.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. So that's really weird. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna start because if I'm being honest, I'm the reason that we're having a meeting. I've struggled with anorexia since I was 11 or 12 years old. So it's been about 30 some years. And it is how I cope with stressful situations in my life. And I have noticed over the last couple of weeks, I have really been bad. And I realized today that I am in relapse.
Okay.
I've lost 10 pounds. But I'm still in a healthy weight, so I'm not to the point where like I need an intervention or where like it's serious. I mean, it's serious, but it's the beginning stages of being serious. I can still eat solid food. I'm not to the point where I'm just like living on yogurt and water. I reached out to Tommy. I was just in tears. I actually reached out to him the other day. I was standing in the at the grocery store. I needed to buy food for Michael, and I couldn't bring myself to buy anything.
Ooh.
I've been avoiding the laxatives. I've been avoiding the scale. I did go down today and weigh myself just because I needed to know where I was at. And by the way, I'm not sure when Michael's off work, so I don't know if he's gonna go eat dinner when he gets home or if whatever. So if I just hop off, like, please know, like, I haven't had this conversation with him yet.
Okay.
I've been lying about eating, especially to him. And Tommy pointed out that that's when you know you're like in full blown relapse is when you start lying. And he's like, if you're lying to your man, like something's wrong.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's really easy for me when when I'm home alone, a lot. I gotta get a Kleenex. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's easy for me to not eat. It kind of started, I like would skip breakfast and then I started skipping lunch and then I started finding reasons not to eat dinner. Like doing
Mm.
laundry. Although sometimes really when I'm on air and I'm doing laundry, I'm really doing laundry because it's backed up down there and uh um I'm to the point where it really hurts to eat much. It bloats up your stomach and it makes it hurt and it makes you stressful. Um
Cool.
But then there's other times where I get really scared, and so I'll kind of binge a little bit. I mean, I don't throw up, but I'll binge eat a little bit. Um, I know why it is. Um, it's how I control things. Things have been extremely stressful. There's one particular situation that has set me back about 12 years. Um, what I know to be true is that your body holds this. Rebecca, are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay. I just see you
I'm
moving
good.
your
I
eyes.
think you're laughing off.
Thank you.
But I
Um,
I can actually kind of relate to some of what you said, though I've not, I guess, been diagnosed. But no, please go ahead.
um, I know your body holds trauma, and when it starts going down a path of like I used to do this, like when you get that trauma response, it puts you back, because it like your body stores it, and so I think what has happened to me is that with this particular situation. It flung me back. I had another situation that flung me uh, back in November, and I really thought I was kind of past it. I think there started being little hints there that I just ignored because I've never relapsed, and so I didn't know what that looked like. Um, and um, It was when I lied to Michael about eating that I knew I was in really bad trouble. I We went to go see a movie the other night and I had one of those little like pizzas from Pizza Hut that had like I don't know 4 or 5 slices in it, and I ate like half of a slice of pizza and I was so full. And I just told Michael I didn't want to eat it because it was pizza and I had on my favorite white sweater, which is that really fuzzy white sweater that I wear that I love. And I was like, I'm sloppy and I don't want to get it on my shirt.
Oh, girl.
Um, so this one particular situation was just kind of like the cherry on top of everything. It wasn't like this person did not cause this. It was the situation and how it made me feel and what it sent me back to. And so I am choosing to step away from this situation because it is not healthy for me. Um, I am concerned about what that's going to look like. To be clear, uh, this has nothing to do with Michael or how he's treating me or my family. This is not any of that. Okay, Michael is amazing, and I probably the man would drag my ass to work with him if he really, and he would like sit there and I would be sitting there while he's welding with a hood on and he'd be giving me chicken wings. Like, it's not that. I want everybody to understand, like, this has nothing to do with my husband. It has nothing to do with, like my kids or my grandkids. Like, these are all, and one situation in particular that just, really took me by surprise. It really took me by surprise that I was back where I was at. I thought I had healed from it. Um, One of the other ways that I knew things were getting bad is I have natural bags under my eyes, but when I get really stressed and when I don't eat, they really get bad, and it takes more and more makeup to cover them, and it's taken more and more makeup to cover them, and they just get it's black, like so. Um, I had to say it today. I'm afraid if I didn't say it today, I wouldn't say it. Um, I think it's really crazy how the universe works because I did it. I set up a thing to have a chat about eating disorders on Tuesday. And it was really just because somebody else had been talking about it. It was not because I thought that I needed to have that conversation at all. Um, and I have to figure out how to navigate this relapse because I really don't know what that looks like. Like I said, I'm still healthy, so I'm at the precipice where it could really go bad or it could be okay. And the fact that I can still eat regular food, even though it's not a lot, the thing that's bad is that as you start to try to increase your food intake, it hurts your stomach and it
Wow.
makes you feel really bloated and it makes you feel sick. Think of like Thanksgiving when you've way eaten all of the good food, you know how you just feel that your stomach hurts, like you feel that pain that's just uncomfortable. That's where I'm at. But that's where I'm at after a slice of pizza. So for me to get back is going to take some work. It's not going to happen, in 3 days. I mean, well, I would be sick if I, you know. Um, I found myself at the restaurants looking at the low calorie menus, everything like 600 calories or less. When you're just eating once a day and you're eating less than 600 calories, that's dangerous. Especially because I'm hypoglycemic, so that's really not good. Um,
Yeah.
I've been drinking a lot of coffee and a lot of water. It just I don't know what it looks like going forward. I don't know. I know before when I fixed it, I had a lot that I was fixing, so it was just one piece of a big puzzle. But this time, it's the puzzle. This is it. Like it's not anything else. It's not my marriage. It's not you guys. It's not my friends. It's um and somebody pointed out to me, and I think this helps me to understand it because before I was looking at it as a compulsive behavior and not an addiction. So I had
Mhm.
people who were drug and alcohol addicts over here, and then I had me over here because I thought that it was different. And my friends pointed out to me that I'm an addict, just like a drug or an alcohol person is an addict. I'm an addict, and um, she was the one who told me I was in relapse. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then when
Wow.
I really started looking at it, I was like, oh shit. And I called Tommy and I was just in tears. I mean, I had no other. I left him a voice clip because you know me, I voice clip everybody, and I was like, look, you don't even need to reach out. I just need to say it. And he's like, well, hun, you kind of called the wrong person if you don't want somebody to not reach out. um, so if like I said, I have not shared this with Michael yet to the point of where it's at. Um, I'm gonna have to come clean about a lot of situations. Um, there's one situation that involves a family member, and I've known a lot about what's going on that other people haven't known, and I haven't said anything. I don't know how to explain this relapse without sharing some of that. I have to sort that out because I don't want to share some of it because what is happening needs to happen, and it's a big thing, and it's so I've got a lot of the situations are difficult because, to be honest with them, I really don't know that any of the situations that have helped me get here are mine to share. So that's the other part, is that it's like I'm holding an atomic bomb, and if I hand it, um, it could prevent what needs to happen on one hand from happening. And I'm pretty sure with the other one, I'm probably gonna have some really effed up stuff said about me, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that I love and care about is gonna hear it. Um, and I'm preparing for the blowback of that. So I'm hoping that I can be far enough along before some of that happens, where it doesn't really send me back. So yeah, so that's it. And I see that.
I just wanted to say that I have been in a relapse for months, and I'm so sorry because I don't know how to get out of it either.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard watching you struggle, because I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I'm going through, and it's control because we've lost everything is so out of control. The only thing we control is what goes into it, and people think that we do it on purpose. It's not on purpose.
No way.
No.
No way.
It's not for attention, and it's not, because that's we hide it until it becomes impossible to hide.
Yeah.
And that's when we start losing all the weight and all that sort of stuff, and people notice. And I'm sure if he's asking questions, he's probably noticed to a degree.
Yeah. I think he has. He doesn't always do real well with some of this because he's like, well, just eat. Okay. It's not that simple. The thing is, I know he loves me, and I know that he will be there, and I know that he will support me in every way possible. I don't know what to do. It's scary because it's
in
food.
A way. Yeah, and because you can't live without it. And in a way, when you admit to him that you have a problem, you're admitting to yourself that you actually, it's serious enough that you need help.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, I didn't realize, like, I knew it was serious, but until the moment Tommy told me, you are lying to your man, you are lying. You are lying to hide what you are doing. That's the moment when I stepped back and I went, oh, I'm lying again. I'm lying again. I don't want to be that person. And one of the things that I do sometimes is I'll drink flaxseed and cayenne pepper because it suppresses your hunger. And I'm going through menopause right now, and so I've always kind of had like a bigger belly, like not a huge belly, it's but biologically the weight is hard for me. I was really afraid when I was told I had to lose 20 pounds because I was 20 pounds overweight. I was really terrified of that. I don't even know how to explain it. It would be like sending somebody who was like 4 days sober into a bar and saying you have to bartend. Like, but you have to do it for your health. And this really was a health issue. It wasn't like an excuse of a health issue. It was a health issue. And I'm sorry, guys.
I just want to say this one thing. Something I find really difficult is that the harder it gets to eat, the more people I have telling me how good I look because I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Oh,
That's
It-
difficult.
and
It
it
does.
perpetuates because
And you
it's
start
like, what, did I look so bad before? Yeah, so,
right, or you start to
right.
see those chiseled features, or you're like, oh, hey, I'm getting because my face is, really like a lot like Tara's was, when I was younger, like just this, very like defined jaw, kind of. Tara, you have a beautiful face, by the way, but I mean, but as you age, you lose that, and then you start to see that, and then you're like, oh, and so there is a lot to it because it's not just, it starts out as control and then it sort of turns into vanity, and then it's very confusing.
yeah, it's really hard when it's like the only way I can describe it is if you're an alcoholic, it's having people encourage you to drink more because you're looking better for it.
Yeah.
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 And it's just as harmful, but it's just
Right.
but because it's not, instead of us taking something, we're withholding something from ourselves. So it is an addiction of sorts because there's something that we must get from withholding it, or refusing it or avoiding all that sort of stuff. There must be something. I don't know what it is because I don't feel good when I do it.
No. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
And that's what makes it hard, is like you're not getting high because you don't eat. It's not, I mean, I'm sleeping more. I have less energy. I'm cranky. I'm crabby. Like there's no part of it that's good. Like, I mean, but Rebecca, you said you wanted to say something.
Well, and I was going to ask you because I don't want to assume. Is it okay if I ask questions and kind of share kind of my experience? I don't know that mine's ever been as bad, but one of the things that, and this is when I was much younger, and I agree with that whole how they phrase things, because I was told, you look like a model. I was almost 100 pounds, and I'm 5'7".
Oh God.
So I was massively skinny, like less than a size 4 back in the day. So I don't know what that is now, a 00 or something. But what I was going to say is kind of bringing yourself to eat again, because I get all of that. Like it's hard to eat again. I don't know if you're vegetarian or if you're, you eat meat. Just make sure you have protein, and maybe don't do like a salad. Have other vegetables, but because it's really hard, and yes, it will make it. I mean, I get it made me sick when you start back again, and I would eat lots of little meals all day long to try to get my body back used to that. But just it might help a little bit to focus on protein, just to kind of keep your body, help you go a little longer, or
Protein is something. No, it's a good thought. Protein is something that I'm always really mindful of because I am hypoglycemic because of my blood sugar. So it's peanuts or meat sticks. I wouldn't say I'm completely vegetarian, but I don't eat a lot of meat. Just it's really it's just you can start telling it too. Like, you guys will notice I've been wearing baggier clothes. I like right now I'm in Michael's AC/DC shirt, but I didn't realize how well I hit it until I went back and actually watched my channel and I watched my videos. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's good. Like you can be fine for a couple hours a day, right? You know, you can put on that face. And I noticed too that I do really good with like smaller amounts of stuff. So like now I've got the 2 dogs and the shitty kitty, and I'm always getting after the dogs, but it's because they stress me out. And it's another thing that stresses me out because Mikey is a lot. And trying to train him to settle down, like he lunges and he barks when he sees people because he gets excited and he wants to say hi, but it terrifies them, and they don't want to come say hi to him. So that is a stressful thing because even for me, taking him out is stressful. So I found that I go as long as possible without having to take him out so I don't have to deal with that stress. And I look back and there's a lot that's similar. Like before, and this is not my children's fault. Okay, this has nothing to do with my kids. It's just before I had 3 kids, now I've got 3 animals. You know, before I had a husband that was gone and worked a lot, Michael's gone and worked a lot. Before, when I was on the road with Michael, it was just Snickers and it was very, very easy. I didn't have to put a harness on, or I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I didn't have to put him in a kennel. I didn't have to, he was so easy. I Taking the dogs for a walk is stressful because just of how they're going to react. So it's like I'm always in this stressful mode, and I didn't realize I was in survival mode. um and I'm back there, and it pisses me off that I allowed myself to get here, because I never wanted to go down this road again. And I participated in the destruction of my soul before. I choose not to participate in that again. So some of these situations have to go away. I have to step away from them. It is literally affecting my health. And again, this is people's situations that I have no control over that have stressed me out like this too, you know. But they're people that are and were important to me. So I let it take over. It's not an excuse. It's what I allowed.
An
What I
explanation.
didn't. Yeah, it's what I allowed in that I didn't realize I was allowing in. In some ways, it was really easy for me to have these very staunch boundaries because that looks easy. With my ex, the manipulating, the gaslighting, the the self gaslighting, the love bombing, all of it. Um, it was just enough to make you question what was going on. And that is what drove me crazy. And then I realized that some of these situations are just enough. And I think that it doesn't have to be full blown. I think sometimes it can be just enough to push you over, just enough to get you back in that. It's not like somebody came in and shoved me in the deep end of the ocean, right? It's like I started stair stepping myself down in the kiddie side of the pool, and now here I am.
Well, you never start off. It never starts off in a rush. It's a slow
That's right.
build-up.
Any addictive
Yeah.
behavior. Yeah.
It creeps up on us.
So, and
Yeah.
you don't. So I didn't even realize that I was doing what I was doing until
Yeah.
I don't know. It took a couple of months because I'm not a big eater anyway. Everything just
Yeah.
feels heavy.
Yeah.
And so I've always eaten very small amounts. It's always taken me a long time. So when it started taking longer in between meals, and
Yeah.
I can't remember the last one I had, that's when I'm sort of like, yeah. But see, the thing is, I'm so open about everything. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
I don't have to hide anything. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky. And I just refuse to hide it. If I'm going through something, everybody's got to know about it because I can't
Yeah.
do this alone. Because I very nearly ended up in hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified of that nose thing.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
So I'm just, I guess what you could say I'm doing now is maintaining. I'm maintaining
Right.
just like I did when I was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just enough to get me by each day.
You have to do that. I mean, you have to stay afloat. You can't let yourself sink. So all your
Yeah.
energy goes to just staying where you're at. And I think what's hard for me is, especially one of the situations, God, I wish I could tell you guys. It's so bad, y'all. It is just so freaking bad. Um, and I can probably say this without it being tipped off too much. It involves kids and not mine, but they need to not be where they are and be somewhere else. And if I share everything, I'm afraid that that won't happen because there are things in process right now that is getting to that situation, but I have to let it get there. And it's hard. I never thought that I would be in a situation where I would really be stuck. Um, I can't really say anything because if I say something to one person, um, that's going to look like I've betrayed someone that I love very, very much, you know, and could really cause some real problems that I don't want. Um, and the only thing that I can do is keep quiet. But I'm not keeping quiet because I'm hiding it. I'm keeping quiet because the legal side of it has to work, and it can't work if I say too much.
It's such a balancing act, isn't it? And that's like
Oh
that's where I
God,
think
it's so
when
hard.
this stuff happens is because we
Yeah,
can't. It's everything around us is so out of control. The only thing we can control is our
yeah,
behaviors, and
and
and whether that's good or bad.
Are you
and
journaling?
when yeah, I went back through my journaling and I kind of started looking and I can the thing is I can tell I'm able to tell what um where it started and what it was. I just can't share it here. Um and um but I know. I know. And the thing that makes me the most upset is that I allowed myself to be somewhere that I promised myself I would never be again. I thought I was healed from this. I didn't think I would get this. And like I said, I know one of them is going to go way bad. I feel it in my bones. It is going to go way bad for me. Um, but I also know that the people that know and love me are going to understand, and that's what
Yeah.
I hold on to. Yeah, Tara.
Christy, I first of all just want to say that I hear you being really open and self-aware and vulnerable with what you're going through right now, and that is a strength. So I seriously commend you in sharing everything that you just shared. Your self-awareness, I think, is going to get you a really long way, just like it's done in the past. And I'm wondering if I could well, actually, before I go there, I want to tell you that I can so relate to what you're talking about having the secret that you really want to share. I was just talking about that, what was it,
Yeah,
last week or 2 weeks ago or
yeah,
something, when I found out something that I still have to keep to myself. And it's really, really hard knowing that there's going to be implications in the future. Me holding this, it could hurt
yeah,
people. It's going to hurt people if and when they find out that I'm not
yeah,
telling them this secret. But ultimately, I identify with what you're saying. It's like it's not my secret to tell,
hmm
and so I'm holding that to me. So I just wanted to share that I'm definitely relating to you in that way, and also I'm wondering if it's okay if I ask you a question about
yeah,
what you've experienced with your relationship with food. So I'm wondering, like, you've been through this before. I'm hearing you saying, you've gotten this under control before. I'm wondering what has worked for you before to get it under control.
Mhm. I do really good with tough love. So somebody telling me to get my shit together is what I need to hear. And I appreciate people that can do that. And um, Tommy did that. Just like, get your shit together. um, what helped me before was so I was dealing with a lot of things because at the time I was dealing with the death of my dad, um, my divorce, um, being taken off of medication that I didn't need. So really what it was figuring out for myself the truth of it and how, like, once I figured out that it was my coping mechanism and I had tools in place and I started using those, that helped me to cope. As far as eating again, I had people there all the time. My brother was there, my mom was there, like people were around me all the time, people asking me if I ate. But there was always someone there. Like I was never alone. Um, and that helped because I couldn't lie. Like if somebody's just standing there looking at me, I can't lie. Um, it's a little different situation now, because like I said, I'm not, I am alone for lots of hours a day. And, um, I think just knowing in myself that I want to beat this,
Yes.
um, is, I have to find strength in something. I have to, um, God, like that really bad Poison song, give me something to believe in. I have to have something to motivate me. Um, I haven't seen my family in 5 years, 4 years, excuse me, 4 years. And I'm gonna be seeing them in a couple of months. And I
Yeah.
don't want to look sick when I go back.
No, no,
I don't
no.
want my kids to worry. I don't want my mom to worry.
Let me ask you
Um,
this. What can we do to help you get on track? Is there anything we can do?
you know, um, I do really good when people check in. Um,
Okay.
this is just how I see this. And maybe I'm wrong because I've not been down this road before. But when I went down it last time, it's a journey that I have to go down on my own, but I have to have a bunch of cheerleaders on the side.
Right on. Okay.
Um,
Just looking for a
fortunately,
pom pom. I can make one.
no, I know. Fortunately, before I was working on so many things, like, I don't know if this makes sense, but it was so many things that I don't really know the one thing that helped me get past it other than my sheer just being pissed off at the whole damn situation and saying, you're not going to do this to me. And
Mm,
I'm kind of starting to get there. Kind
good.
of starting to get to that place where it's like, you're not going to be the reason I die. I'm
Right on.
sorry. Anybody that is involved
Yeah.
in this, I do not love enough to be the reason that I die. And I know
And
that
even if you
sounds
did,
really
and,
mean.
and if you did, even if you did love them enough, you know, still, that even someone that you love shouldn't be a reason that you go down
Does
that
the
hill and die. And
yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate that it just had got to the point, like I said, where, because I was to that point before where I was literally just living on water and yogurt. It was like, and I mean that's just where I was.
yeah,
I think realizing what I realized and being on this verge is important because
yeah,
I didn't let it get so far that I've got a long way to come back. You know, um, I'm still healthy. Like I'm not healthy, but I'm healthy. I'm at a healthy weight. I don't have to gain.
That's good.
If I got to a point where I had to gain 10 or 15 pounds, I probably would have to put myself in somewhere because I don't know that I could do it on my. I don't know that I could do it without help.
Can I ask you another question? What is there one thing in the food arena that can help you kind of get your appetite restarted that's worked in the past?
As far as something that I like to eat,
Yeah.
no, because even the foods that I really enjoy, I can't. Now, I am gonna say this, and I don't know if I should say this.
You can say anything you want here.
I know, but I don't want to trigger anybody. Okay, so
Okay.
You're okay.
eating an edible gives me an appetite. It makes
Okay.
me eat.
Good.
I know people here have struggled with that, and I don't want to trigger anybody to like want to come do that. So please, God, don't.
It's
But-
not
Yeah.
triggering to me. Have an edible for me, please.
Yeah, agreed.
I-
Agreed.
I'm on
I'm
medicinal for
wondering.
that reason.
Well, I'm
Because of my
wondering
appetite.
I'm wondering. A question that I've had is that an honest way to get your appetite back? Because I really can do it without it controlling me. I mean, I truly am one of those people
Yes.
who can
I'm just going
who
to
could
say
do
this.
that.
Yes, it is an honest way to get your appetite
Yeah,
back.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I
It's
totally
natural.
agree.
You know, it's a plant. It's not synthetic.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like taking a
And-
vitamin supplement,
And-
basically.
yeah.
My doctor was the one who
Yeah.
suggested it.
And to be honest, you said that you're not going to have an issue, with it. You
No.
know that you're not going to have an issue with it. It's an honest
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what along the lines of what I'm thinking too. It's like, Christy, are you comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I am. It's one of the things that I thought about because it is legal for medicinal purposes here in Maryland. It's also legal in Colorado and everything like that. And I just didn't want to like addiction hop, but it's not an issue for me. So
Yeah.
that was the one thing that I thought, you know what I mean? I know that I could tell Michael, like, look, I'm really struggling with this and we need to find a dispensary. And it would be in his phone so fast. Like he couldn't drive fast enough to get me there. But I want to
I'm of
make
the
sure
mind
that I'm
anything
healthy.
helps.
Yeah.
And that's kind of,
'Cause,
yeah.
It's like giving a cancer patient chemo, they're not
Yeah.
going to turn that down. Well, you can, it's an option.
Yeah.
Right.
But in general,
Right.
most people won't turn it down if it gives them an option of being better in the future, And it's not something that you have to continue, once you get back into
No.
Right.
back into the habit of eating, because it is a habit.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So, and I reckon it's one of the hardest things because I can avoid alcohol as much as I want, or, all that sort of stuff. I can't avoid food.
No,
Right.
and that's what's hard is like,
Yeah.
I mean, not having struggled with other substances, I mean, this is what, and I think that's what makes it so insidious is because you're literally taking your life force away from yourself. You're like, how I see it for me is I can't cope with this situation, so I'm just going to take away the source of my life. Like, what? How does that make sense? Like,
Well,
Well,
makes
and
perfect
that
sense to me.
makes sense. There's
Yeah.
nothing about addiction that makes sense.
It actually
right.
makes perfect sense to me because if this is what causes it, it's not
Mhm.
directly my fault.
Yeah.
So in a way,
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing, it's like a very slow unaliving it. It's not my fault, so I can't be
Yeah.
blamed for it. So if it happens,
Yeah.
it happens, and I'm not going to stop it. And
Cosmic, I wish I could hug you.
I wish I could too.
But the thing is, and people keep offering all these solutions. And it's not like I don't want to try them. I've tried them all. I'm someone who'll give anything a go. And so, and I appreciate the help, and you know, where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of love and just trying to help. But it's just for me to have to say constantly, I've done that. It feels like I'm putting the other person down. Like, you know, like, yeah, I've tried that.
Guys, this is Michael.
Okay.
So yeah.
Christy,
Well, that's
I really
exactly
hope
right,
that you understand, at least from us here, and I feel like I'm at least speaking for everybody on screen, and we see that you've tried. We see that you keep making the next step. We see that.
Yeah.
It's not excuses to us. It's not you making us feel bad or putting us down. I think that's the way that you would put it, was putting us down. I was trying to find the right words for a second. That is not what we see happening. We know you're fighting. We know you're strong, and we know this isn't easy. Okay?
Yeah.
I want you to, it's hard to feel. Believe me, I know it. I know it. When you're in it, it's hard to feel it, but I mean it. I really do.
It just sort of shows the differences, and you know, we're going through a very similar thing, but it's so different for both of us. The reasons, you know, even our thinking behind it is so different. You know, I think, I hate the saying, but everything is a spectrum. You know, and just because my spectrum, my bad might be not as bad as somebody else, it's still terrible. You know, I'm not hospitalized just now, but you know, it could be worse, and that's what I'm holding on to. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you need to go?
No, Michael's gonna get cleaned up from work, and then hold on. Okay. Oh, did you like that face?
I have a couple of questions on the support factors that we could possibly do for you. Sorry, let me get back to my little thing here. I understand the checking in and the cheerleading, but the point where you had said that getting angry at the situation helped you. Does another individual saying that as well to you help you, or does it need to be your internal anger?
What do you mean saying something
So,
to me?
like saying that you should be angry.
Oh, like giving me permission?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but not really. It's like it's that digging down deep down inside. That you just like that fire that you kind of have to find in yourself. Like that, you know, that motivation that people find. But no, I mean, it's just what makes it tricky to navigate is because it's kind of like being in a pool and you know how to swim. You just have to start swimming, but it's scary to start swimming. And so you have to find it. Is that making sense? Like, am I
It's like, I guess
explaining
it's
that
like
in a good way?
the instant when you're pushed in the pool and it's a shock.
Yeah.
You know how to swim, you know, but it's just like you're so shocked by the situation that's happened that you don't, it's like a fight, flight, freeze, fawn type, but it's a fright. You just freeze. So you don't know how to do this. Or you can't even doggy paddle, you know?
Well, and you have to figure out how to fight. Like, I'm a fighter, so I'm gonna fight, but I have to figure out how to fight. You know what I mean? It's like, what does the fight look like? You know, I mean, I just can't go throw and cheese at everything. That's not gonna help nothing. So, you know,
you're very amazing though.
That would be funny. And
cheese and turkey legs.
Yes. Would it be helpful if we used, and I don't know if you wanted to be careful because I know you said you hadn't told your husband. He was behind you until a second ago. So I didn't know if you wanted us to be careful. But I was going to say, would it help you if we were if we kind of did tough love with you? It's not something I'm as good at, but I want to help you in any way I can, dear. So if that would help, I would do that.
I'm not a tough love person, so I'll just be like, it's all good.
I honestly want to kind of see you be tough.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
Me?
Lay it on me.
Rebecca. Rebecca can. I won't.
Together, because I don't know. You're right. I'm not very good at it. The empath
Oh,
just
no,
wants
no,
to.
no, no. I think that's adorable. Like in the sweetest way possible. I am not being condescending. Like I think that's very adorable. I think honestly, I think that part of it has kind of already happened. And I'm super thankful for it. But as with anything, if you see a need for it down the road, yeah, like absolutely, what you doing, buddy? Because yeah, it's just at this point, it's navigating it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the hardest part. It's kind of like my car broke down, and I didn't know what was wrong with it, and so I waited until Michael got home, and I was like, "Hey, it's making a noise. I don't know what it is." And he went outside and he tried to start it, and he's like, "Oh, it's the starter." He knew instantly what it was, and so it's like that moment of knowing what it is, but then you have to go find the part, and then you have to get the part, and then you've got to get it back, and then you've got to figure out, is it something that you can do yourself, or is it something that you're going to have to send to a garage? And if you have to send it to a garage, does it have to be towed? And then what garage are you going to use? And so it's I think seeing it is the easiest part. In one way, it's the follow through and making it happen.
Yep.
On the other end of it, yes, I love you. You was the best guy that ever was on the whole planet. And you too. You can't love one without the other. Do you guys want a pork chomper? Do you want a pork chomper? You want me to get you pork chomper? Let me get you pork chomper. Hold on. Let me give you something to chew.
Cosmic Christy, are you there? Can you hear me right now? No, darn it. Okay.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
Still, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Here.
Oh, hi, you're
There
back.
you are.
I'm curious about the same question that has been posed to the other Christy, conversations with Christy about what we can do to support you as you're going through this as well.
Exactly.
Everything you're doing now, basically, because I'm incredibly lucky, and because I was a carer for so long for my daughter, I'm very good at putting services and people in place.
Right on.
That for this sort of stuff. It's just a matter. No one can force me to eat, though. That's the only thing. That's the biggest problem, Until I have a tube down my nose, no one's going to force me to eat. And the more people tell me to eat, the less I'll eat. And I don't know what that might be, the pathological avoidance thing that I've got. Because tough love would not work on me. So you try and tough love me, I'll be like, oh, really? I'm going the other way. So, it's just, I guess just everything you're doing now. That's why I haven't really, I'm here in support of Christy, not for a meeting for myself. It's just that it just so happens that I'm going through a very similar thing, and it's, but that's why I don't really talk about it too much, because I actually have a lot of support in place in my, immediate surroundings. I got my carer make me food, and I'm very lucky that I've got the support I have. And that includes you guys, because I don't know if I'll be able to. But I think being an alcoholic and going through this would be a lot worse. So I thank you for all of the support. So,
I was going to say, I thought about it with relation to the gummies. It is in essence like medicine. So kind of.
It is a medical dispensary that you're going to probably end up going to. So yeah, is it legal there in Maryland? Yeah. Okay.
But ultimately, if it helps you, use what you need that's going to help you, and don't feel bad, and don't apologize. do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Because I get it. The beginning, getting back, starting the process again. Once you get into the process and you're able to eat like you regular, like normal, and you're able to eat larger portions, it's, not a big deal. But it's to get over that hump. It's like medicine. Do what you need to do. And know we love and support you. And if I was there, I'd give you hugs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the virtual hugs.
If the stress of having to move so suddenly and have such a sudden change in your life is also a factor.
Yeah. Even though that was my choice, there was
Right.
a lot. I mean, like
Yeah.
if you look at it, I ended 4 years in 18 days.
Yeah, you did.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm super excited. But even just kind of how it came about was icky. It was just an icky thing that happened, and and like I said, and that was totally my choice because originally the plan was at the end of the year, and I was just like, let's.
Well, it's like sticking around in a situation that's causing more harm anyway. So what's the point?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but again, it shows you when I get motivated what I can do.
Yeah.
You can kick
Like-
ass and take names.
Right? There is
Yeah,
that.
I guess, like in my case, things aren't going so terribly for me. Like there's stress, but on the level of what I've been through in the past, what I'm going through right now is nothing. It's so nothing that I'm surprised that it's affecting me like this.
And isn't that amazing? Because it's like, and I've seen it with other people. Like I've watched it happen where certain things that used to happen at old points in their lives where they were maybe a little bit more unhealthy or not as grounded. And it doesn't take long for your body to just say, oh, we're doing this again. Because I don't think it ever really goes away. I mean, I think you can do everything you can do to be healthy. But I think that at the end of the day, because it does change who you are, like on a cellular level. That type of stuff changes who you are. And it's very easy. My dad told me once he almost had a nervous breakdown because of where he was working and this guy he was working for. And he went to the doctor and the psychiatrist told him that once your mind gets to that point where it almost breaks like that, that is your new baseline. You don't go back to what it was. And it's very, very easy for you to do that. So my dad actually had a job. He was a custodian at a school. And he quit that and went into business for himself and learned how to shoe horses. Shoe meaning put the shoes on the hoof of the horse. So people used to think that I said shoot. And I'm like, no, that's not, no.
I was thinking of like shoe.
Yeah, okay. There's a whole talent to it. Shoe or shoe.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm the horseshoer.
I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farrier.
Yes.
The horseshoe.
And he learned how to make saddles and he did all that. He went into business with other people, but he was self-employed and he made his own hours and everybody knew, like, my dad would show up when my dad showed up and he left when my dad left, and like he just didn't say anything about it, but he was really good at what he did. But the reason that he did that was because he was so close to just having a full-on mental, like, nervous breakdown that he's like, I can't do that again.
Right.
And he told me, he was like, your body doesn't forget that. And this was what a psychiatrist told him. God, I was born because he worked for that particular person. Well, when we went through the first tornado, and I was little, my brother was born, so I was at least 3 or 4. So I mean, this was back in the very early 80s that a psychiatrist was telling us. So,
and even back then, they didn't think of it as serious, even though they knew about shell shock and all that postnatal, what is it, PTSD. They
Yeah,
knew about
yeah.
it, but they still didn't treat it so much. They were just like, yeah, they're having issues.
Yeah.
We'll just put them over
Right,
there, you know. They
right.
don't. But now they actually deal with it. So I'm just amazed that psychologist actually was that onto it all the way back then.
Aware.
It is so true. Everything that happens to us. Yeah. So it's like everything we do is in our body. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I like to think of it as rings on a tree. You know, I feel like everything that we put on ourselves is like another ring on a tree, and it doesn't disappear. It's just you just add another layer the next year.
Right.
And, just kind of, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, to be honest. I just wake up every day and try and get through it. So
some days
I'm so lost.
Yeah. Kenneth, my dad trained horses too. So does my brother, and we actually lived in Colorado for a long time, Kansas, and then moved to Colorado. So I mean, you know, but it, you know, things stick with you, and it's. I'm learning that, you know, I think you get to a point where you're healed from something, and then it comes back around because there's a different level to learn from it. So like you get through the first part, and then you come back around to it because then there's maybe a deeper opportunity for you, or you know, an opportunity
Or
to
there might have been gaps in the first lesson, you know. I
Mhm.
mean, things that you didn't quite catch first time
You're in a
around.
different
It's like
place.
like one of those, like a
You're in a
snap
different place
test.
the second time around.
Just making sure that you know.
Yeah.
Like you know, at school.
Yeah.
Honestly, life just feels like school. I don't want to learn anymore. I'm done. It just feels like an extension of school. Like, when does it end? Like, when can we just relax and stop doing homework? And
And Tara, sorry, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, Tara.
Oh, you're muted, honey.
You're muted.
Thank you. I would have kept going. I had no idea. So I wanted to comment on Rip Curl Readiness's comment. Rip Curl was commenting to be cautious with the gummies because they're so strong these days. And of course, I heard you talking about getting them from the dispensary, which is the way to go. Definitely be very cautious of anything coming from the street these days. But my thought is that for me, my experience has been that working with my psychiatric nurse practitioner has been the best thing that I have done for myself, because she has steered me clear of certain things and suggested things that I wasn't even aware of that are working for me. And it's been a process, but I just want to encourage you, if you're open to it, to think about talking with a medical professional about this, because I would hate to be like, yeah, have an edible for me, and then have it become a full-blown addiction for you. And so like, I'm not a medical healthcare professional. I don't give medical advice. And I know that I don't think anybody on this channel that is here on this panel right now does that or can do that. So I just want to encourage you to talk with somebody if that's something that you're open to. But I also want you to know that regardless of what you decide, whether you talk with somebody or not, that you have my support 100%.
Oh, thank you. No, I actually, I've got a friend who, you know, definitely would help out in that. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. And, you know, I'm very careful, you know, because I don't need any more problems.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to take the gummies for sleep initially because I was having problems shutting my brain down, and melatonin was no longer working. So I was taking 30 to 40 milligrams of melatonin at night, and it would do nothing for me. But I found the dispensary, the person who worked there, and I kind of explained what I was trying to do, was able to go, okay, we recommend this, and maybe start with a quarter gummy and see how you do. And the first time I took one, I had somebody with me just to make sure that I knew how my body was going to react. Somebody knew who 911 if it was needed. I mean, I really didn't think it was probably likely, but, you know, just to be safe.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a
Might
good
help.
point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said,
I
it's
was going to
not
suggest
for
that too at the dispensary.
yeah.
They're going to know, okay, this strain of the, you know what I mean? They're
Yes.
probably
Well,
Yeah.
that's
a little more knowledgeable than even some of the medical professionals.
Yeah.
well. See,
Because yeah.
we over here we have to go through doctors to get a script for it.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it's actually kind of hard for me because I've got alcoholism on my medical file, and they consider it, you know, a bit risky for me to do it. I'm just thinking, yeah, I've been smoking since before I ever started drinking, but fine.
Right.
But it's they go through a range of questions. The doctors that I went through go through range of questions to ask you what your symptoms are. Mine's not eating, like, blah blah blah, not sleeping very well, all that sort of stuff, anxiety, and then they'll go through whichever particular strain is best for your majority issue, which I think probably might be appetite.
Right.
So
Okay.
you'll get a strain for that,
Mhm.
and you just have it just before meals, as you probably do with gummies. But
Yeah.
there's particular strains that help with different things, and if you go through, like, I'm sure I've never been to a dispensary, we don't have them. But I'm sure the people in there would know exactly what you'd need as well,
Yeah.
because they're selling it every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said,
it's kind of their job to know too. Yeah.
You'd
yeah.
hope so, yeah. So
I
And
mean, it wasn't
you know.
legal the way it in Minnesota, the way it is for you. We had Delta 8s at that point, so there was only so much that was legal in the state to have. And yeah, the dispensary knew this strain helps you, like, your brain quiet down for sleep, because that's what I was asking for. Like, this strain will do this, you don't want to do this, kind of thing.
Right.
Also, I
So
wanted to mention, if you do need somebody with like to monitor, and I know Michael is at work a lot, please just call me. You know, I can make my calls still with you on the phone. I can have you on the laptop. I can have my phone free. So you please just call me. I have all of the time to help and support. Okay.
Oh, thank
and I have
you.
not, I
Yeah.
can take night shift because I'm up all day. my day.
Yeah. Well,
um,
and go ahead.
I am not trying to sway you one way or the other. Like I want to be really clear about you having my support no matter which way you go. I just think for me, in my experience, when I was self-medicating, it led me down a path I don't ever want to go down again. And so like I know I said have a gummy for me, but I'm thinking about that comment, and it's
No.
like
You're. It's okay. It's okay. It's
I
really
want
okay.
to I want to encourage you to talk with a medical health professional if that's something that you're open to, but also use your intuition and do what's best for you.
Right.
And you have my support. I just am getting that there's like this thing in my gut that's like, don't encourage to self-medicate. That didn't work for me. It got me in a lot of trouble. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're
No.
doing it
I
through the
appreciate.
dispensary, I don't think it's self-medicating, because they, like, is it? I don't know. Can you just
can
buy it
be
over there? Can you just?
Absolutely.
You you can. There's two different. There's well it depends on
Okay.
the state, but there's medical and then there's rec. And so medical you have to have gone to a doctor for. Rec you don't have to. But so yeah, but no, like nothing. No, you're fine. Please don't. No, you're good.
Yeah,
Don't
you
feel
thought
bad.
about that comment like way longer than
and
we did.
above and beyond everything, I want you to know, regardless of what path you take, I'm here for you. And you can, like, I would be happy, just like Stasia was saying, like, if you ever need to reach out to somebody, I don't think we have I know that we haven't exchanged contact information, but Carol has my email address. I would be happy to be another person in your pocket to provide support, and regardless of what you decide to do.
Right. No, I appreciate that. I do. Yeah, and I've got some resources available in that area. So, I definitely can pick up the phone, and I have a doctor friend. I had an infection and I'm like, I need some antibiotics, and he's like, okay. what pharmacy. So no, like I understand where you're coming from, Tara, and I appreciate it, but please don't beat yourself up over it. You're
Yeah.
you're good. Like I know exactly what you meant. Sorry.
Good.
So yeah, don't, it's all good. Yeah, because that is a tricky path to navigate, right? Because we don't know what's too much or not enough, or where we need to be in anything. Like so, and my mom's a nurse, so I definitely have a lot of stuff there where I can just be like, what's this? How does this go? So yeah, but it is um
I'm
yeah.
just reading what Mish is saying, and I just wanted to agree. That's one of the reasons why I don't. She's saying it's not fair to just dump on someone we love enough to share our truths with, just because we are ready. Doesn't mean the other person is able to add that to their plate. That's really true. That's one of the reasons why I don't share a lot. There's nobody who knows everything, and the one
Yeah.
person who does, well, actually doesn't know everything, but the one person who knows the most used it all against me. So yeah, so it's really hard for me to tell anyone anything, Misha, without wondering when it's going to come back at me.
Which
Yeah.
is so messed up.
It's knowledge is power. It's just what the way some people use their knowledge is not great. But the way I see it is that if someone doesn't want to listen, they won't, and that's one of the reasons why I've stopped talking so much, because it does feel overwhelming. Like if I went through it and I find it overwhelming, just listening to it, that's vicarious trauma. It's one of the reasons I hated AA, because all I heard was their trauma. So
Right.
but it's just, you kind of have to pick the right people, I guess, and what the right thing is, and the level of what they can take, I guess.
And I think the other side of that is to be, respectful. If someone's like, I just can't right now, having respect for somebody and say, if somebody says, I have to step away from the situation because it's causing me actual harm, that's a thing too, and I think it's important to not make it about yourself at that point. It really is about that person. Sorry, Mickey's scratching. So,
I agree with
and
that.
I think that's important too, like not everything is about you or us, sometimes you step away from people and situations because it's really unhealthy for you and that's what you need to do, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with whatever. People have to get healthy.
It's really
Yeah.
it's, I guess the way I see it is I've got a professional. I have a psychologist who I dump everything on once a week, although I've knocked it back to every fortnight because it was getting a bit hard to deal with it weekly. But that's the person I share the things that I find it really hard to share with other people, because one, they're a professional, and I asked him if he's got a counsellor. He does, so that's cool. And that's what I do now. I save all the big stuff for the professional, because they're the one who gets paid for it. They're the one who I hope can handle it, and also they're going to give me some tips and tricks on how to get through it.
Right. Yeah, because always sometimes just having somebody be like, yeah, down with them, that's not helpful either. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you are wrong and you have to be told. And like, and I am all for any kind of professional help that people need. I see no bad benefit in that whatsoever.
I just wish it was easier to get. It's so hard and out of the bounds of people's finances. Like the only reason I can do it is because I have a disability and I'm supported by my government.
Right.
So
right.
I just couldn't. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't got myself to this point, because I've set this all in process. I got me here. So if I hadn't done that, I don't know where I'd be now, considering that I did it without knowing where I'd be now, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I did it. It was pre-preparation for a situation I didn't know I was going to have. Yeah. So I guess it's just life, really. It's just preparation for situations you don't know you're going to have.
Right. Well, and I think
I just want a fairy
too.
tale.
Well, and I think too, knowing when to step out is important. Knowing when to hand it over to a professional is important. Knowing when it's enough for you. Like all of those things are really important. And I think it's important to share and be accountable. But I think you need to sometimes really go to people who can really help. 'Cause, sometimes all I can do is listen. I can tell you my experience, but that might not be, the most helpful for you. So I think getting that kind of help is important.
Do you have a therapist or somebody that you have been working with, or you need to? Is there someone you can
No.
reach out to that end?
No, I mean, I could find some recommendations pretty easily. Yeah. But no, not recently because like I said, this is all pretty new. So, just kind of how it came up. It was, like Cosmic said, like being pushed into the pool.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020. It's always
Yeah.
easier to see behind the
Yeah.
process than it is after. Than
Right. Right.
I call it behinds, like there's not much you can do about it.
No, and I think what's beneficial is just knowing that, it is it is I don't want to say fixable, but it's a
It
good
can be
point
improved.
where it can be it's at a good point where it can improve, and hasn't.
Yeah, well, see that's something
Mhm.
that you should take as a really good thing. You recognized it before it got to a point where you had no other choice but to do what you probably wouldn't want to do, which is perhaps go to hospital. So that's excellent because you've got it at, you're still healthy.
Yeah.
As long as you can maintain for now what you're doing, and then just maybe add a little bit on, because that's what I do.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I think you're doing amazing. I think you are amazing.
Thank you.
You are an inspiration.
Thank you.
And yeah.
I don't feel like much of one right now. Thank you.
Oh, but you are, because it feels sometimes when you're going through this sort of stuff, you don't want to share it because you don't want to trigger other people.
Yeah.
But you want to share because you want to find out that you're not going through this alone. Even though you don't want anyone else to go through it, but knowing that other people know what you're going through in their own way, it's really helpful. So,
and I think there's something about I think there's something about saying it. Just saying it. Like to people that care about you and want to see you succeed. Just put it out there. Putting the vibration out there, just saying it. Like that's kind of the first step for me. I mean, isn't that the first step, like admitting?
100%.
The first,
100%.
isn't that there's a cliche? The first step to fixing a problem is admitting you have one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good cliche, but
It's
you can't fix what you don't know.
Say what you will about cliches, but they're usually true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's why they're cliches.
Sometimes,
Yeah, they're
Yeah, exactly.
for a reason.
Well, I have to go because I've got to go hide some Easter eggs at a park before the other kids get there.
Big old piece of machinery, and I'm gonna pop off to go make sure he's not pinned underneath a big old riding lawn.
For sure.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to pop off here soon too. So I just appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. All of the insight.
Anytime.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you too for sharing You're always such a source of support and encouragement for other people. And so it's really an honor to be able to do the same for you.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
said.
you. Well,
I hope you feel better, Matrix. All right,
Love
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
go because I got little Mia over here. So
Bye.
Love you,
bye.
Cosmic.
There you
See you,
go.
Cosmic.
bye, Cosmic.
Bye. Kisses.
Love you guys.
Love you too,
Chris.
Carol.
Love
All
you, Carol.
right.
Let me
Thank
know
Love
you.
if
you
she's okay
too.
later. Oh,
um,
goodness.
yeah. So, well, just he's scratching again. I swear, I don't have a vibrating phone. It's just. Let me see.
Mom, I got an itch.
Right. So, well, I just appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna hop off. And tomorrow's Easter, so happy Easter to everybody who celebrates it. And if you don't, I hope that you have a wonderful, lovely day. And I will see you all soon. Thank you, everybody, so much. It really meant a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Christy.
And
Well,
then there's
ladies.
Sabree. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That's I like you said, sorry, Tara, I'm just honored that she felt safe enough to share with us and to get the support and to
Yeah.
trust that she would get the support.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate everybody being here to support as well, because she has been a great, huge help to the Needing a Meeting community, the Lifeboat, many different places. So it's gonna make me teary, sorry, because she's helped me so much. She's helped me through my own situation so much. So it's a big honor to be able to say I'm here. As simple as it is.
Well, and this community is the part where I realized I did have eating issues and did have addiction issues with that I didn't realize, you know, all that behavior when I was especially when I was much younger. Not that I don't still eat to comfort myself, but that is all addiction. There's still, may not be drugs, may not be alcohol, might be maybe a little bit more socially acceptable. But
it doesn't have to be a substance to be an addiction. And that's something recently that I've started learning in my own story, is that there's behavioral addictions. So maybe in this situation, it's control. For me, it was taking other people's advice, other people's control. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a substance. It doesn't have to be something that's illegal. It can be something as simple as just what somebody says to you. You know, and just needing to be able to say, all of this is spinning right now, and I just, no, give me one thing, please, just give me one thing. You know, so
even relationships can be addicting, you know, that codependency thing, or choosing people that are toxic to us. There's so many things that we can get wrapped up in, and if we're not as self-aware as both Christies are being right now, it's really easy to get lost in that.
Exactly. Goodness. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to finish up here because I was out earlier, but I'm gonna go back out. I just wanted to make sure that I made it back to be in a safe space to have this conversation, and then go back to my events for the day.
Right on. Right on. Well, I'm happy I was able to make it. It was a fantastic meeting, I thought.
And I really appreciate you being here, because some of the insight that you have, Tara, I wasn't sure how to reach out to you, so I'm just going to say it here. Some of the insight that you have, and some of the questions and some of the things that you bring as suggestions, I'm truly appreciating, not just for the support for others, but I've gotten things out of it as well. So thank you so much for coming and joining us and being a part of this community.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And it's an absolute pleasure. It's my pleasure. Seriously.
Good. Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night, ladies.
See ya, everyone. Have a great night.
Yep. Bye.
All right, guys, that's it for this Saturday impromptu Needing a Meeting.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Thank you so much for coming and supporting Christy and Christy. And I'm going to pull the carol. I might not sound as good at it, but peace, y'all.